The Midas Historic Tour paid their first visit to Red Star Raceway for the final round of the 2015 championship. History in Motion is proudly brought to you by Midas Sport, Gumtree, Mitsubishi Electric and their associate sponsors. The track is primarily used for motorbikes, and as such it will be interesting for the cars. Jeff Gable takes us through turn 1.
Entrance into turn 1 here at Red Star Raceway, probably the widest part of the track around the whole 4-kilometer circuit. Absolutely critical, particularly for the series that have standing starts. Again, Formula Ford and Lotus, you're going to be coming from the standing start 2 or 3 abreast, all racing to take advantage in the first part of this corner, and suddenly, for being very wide, it's all going to feel very, very narrow. Corner 1 is critical. It's about positioning, it's about braking. When you're running down this long straight and we're 2 abreast or 3 abreast, the right place to be is going to be the car on the inside, but that's a dirty line. It's going to be very hard to find your right braking point. On the outside, the temptation is going to be to leave that braking as late as possible. That's all well and good if you get turned in. If you don't, the outside of corner 1 is very, very slippery. There's lots of grass to catch you. I'm certain we're going to have plenty of action here and more than a few passes. Provided you've got yourself slowed down, provided you've got yourself turned in, the rest of corner 1 is actually pretty straightforward. It's not too long into the corner before you're hard on the accelerator. It opens up nicely. One of the few corners here that does open up nicely, but it's all about entrance, it's all about braking and getting turned in that makes corner 1 such an interesting corner here at Red Star Raceway.
In Marcars, the championship comes down to the final round, and it's between Ray Cornelissen and Stuart Grant. First, we caught up with Stephen Neofitu.
I haven't been for a while. I had a problem with my engine, so I had to have it repaired, and we had to get parts from, obviously, from the UK. So it took about 3-4 months to have it repaired. And yeah, now we're back in action, and lovely to be at the Red Star.
I was fortunate to come out here a month ago, and so I learned the track a little bit. I hear a lot of guys are complaining about the twists and turns. I think it suits me well. My car is so slow that I'm actually almost as fast as them in the corners, and I can enjoy sliding around and playing around a bit. Yeah.
There's 10 points between me and Stuart on the championship log. Plan today is just go out there, circulate, and try and beat Stuart to the line. Theoretically, there's 34 points on the table today, and we'll see.
Werner Hartzenberg will lead the field off the start. 21 seconds behind him will be the yellow Mini of Stephen Neofitu. Newcomer Daryl Kramer in his Mercedes-Benz is due to start at the back 2 minutes and 16 seconds later. The flag is waved and Werner Hartzenberg powers off the start line in his beautiful Porsche 356. Shortly after, the Cheese for Africa Mini begins the chase. Nick van Veek in the Sinelli Merc is next off the line. Daryl Kramer waits patiently while the clock moves up to his time. Finally, he can get the power down and start racing. On cold tires, he's perhaps a little bit too enthusiastic coming into turn 1, and he gets it all sorts of sideways and ends up backwards off the track. No damage though, and he'll get it going and just have a bit more time to make up. A battle of the Mercs has formed, with Stuart Grant coming under pressure from the black Mercedes with Jose Vasquez at the wheel. Just behind them is Michiel Uberholzer in his Mercedes 190. Vasquez runs side by side with Grant through turn 1. Grant on the outside as the pair run mirror to mirror towards turn 2. Grant edging ahead, but Vasquez has the inside line advantage as these big machines twist their way through the turns. Rubber squealing as they race onto turn 3. The advantage now handed to Grant as the inside line becomes his. There's nothing in it. With all these twists and turns of the track, the advantage keeps shifting from one driver to the other. Vasquez moves ahead of Grant, and Uberholzer is now right in his bumper. Bert Van Aal has been caught and passed by Jose Vasquez as they make their way through the next series of bends. Ahead of them, the Mercedes of FC Niemand cuts the corner slightly and kicks up some dust. Niemand is chasing down the Alfa Romeo GTV of Ray Cornelissen and beginning to catch him as they make their way down the start-finish straight. Heading towards turn 1, and Cornelissen is still ahead of Niemand, who is beginning to feel the pressure from Jose Vasquez. Bert Van Aal in his Ford Capri takes the outside line through the corner, and Michiel Uberholzer slips down the inside and passes the yellow machine. Cornelissen is still ahead of Niemand, but Vasquez takes the inside line and moves ahead of Niemand. Racing down the long back straight, and Rob van Aal has been caught by Ray Cornelissen, who powers past the Ford Escort. Behind Van Aal, Niemand has Oberholzer on his bumper looking for a way past. They make their way round turn 12, and Oberholzer has passed Niemand and now accelerates past Van Aal as they head through the final bend and onto the start-finish straight. Niemand passes the blue Escort as well and heads off in pursuit of Oberholzer. Approaching turn 3, and Rob van Aal is doing his best to stay in touch with the Mercedes of Niemand. Behind him, Brother Bert in the yellow Capri sneaks down the inside and has a look. Down the short straight to turn 4, and Brother Bert has got ahead of Rob. Coming through turn 9, and Werner Hartzenberg, who started out front, is about to be passed by Michiel Oberholzer, who is working his way up through the field after starting 9th in this, his second race meeting. Rounding turn 13 and onto the start-finish straight, and Bert van Aal is about to do the same to the Porsche 356. Under the bridge, they race side by side, but it's not long before Van Aal has taken the position. Nick van Wyk in the Mercedes leads the blue Escort of Rob van Aal through turn 9. Exiting the long right-hander, and Van Aal slides down the inside of Van Wyk and moves ahead. Stuart Grant behind him doesn't miss his chance, and he follows Van Aal past Van Wyk going through turn 10. Nose to tail, the trio make their way to the long right-hand bend that is turn 11 before heading onto the long back straight. Rounding the never-ending turn 11, Van Aal goes, holding Grant at bay for now. Stephen Neofitu in the Chiefs for Africa Mini crosses the line and takes the checkered flag. Cruising down the back straight, and Rob van Aal is unable to hold Stuart Grant and the Mercedes at bay any longer. Second over the line is Jose Vasquez, closely followed by Michiel Oberholzer. Ray Cornelissen takes the checkered flag ahead of Bert van Aal, but more importantly, he finishes ahead of his championship rival Stuart Grant. Nick van Wyk in the Sign Alley Merc sneaks past Rob van Aal in the blue Escort, and he goes on to take the checkered flag in 6th place. Due to Stephen Neofitu, Jose Vasquez and Michiel Oberholzer breaking out, it's Ray Cornelissen who takes the victory in race 1 of the Marcars. Stuart Grant came home in 8th place, and this means the championship will go down to the final race.
The race didn't go too badly. I had a slip in clutch, but on the second last lap, Nick was in front of me. I caught him and we had a gigantic battle. It was touch and go. I overtook him twice, he overtook me twice, and then on the last corner he took me back again. But it was a good race, I enjoyed it.
Track very daunting, especially the Merc, weighs 1.7 ton, 13 corners. Rob's car's much smaller than me, so he can catch me in the corners, but thank God for V8 power. On the straights I can pull away from it. Red Star, thank you very much for having us out here. First time out for us as a club. We know it's a motorbike track, but we've adapted to it, I think. Facility-wise, I think stunning. One of the best places I've been to, track-wise.
Absolutely.
I pity the track has got so many corners to it, otherwise it'd be pretty here.
Heat 2 is underway, and Ray Cornelissen leads Stuart Grant off the start grid by 1 second. This should make an interesting race for the championship. Sprinting down the long back straight, and Stuart Grant runs alongside and past Ray Cornelissen. The two drivers giving it their all as they battle it out for championship honours. Bert van Aal and his Ford Capri is hanging onto Cornelissen's bumper as they round turn 12. Cornelissen is doing his best to hold on to Grant. He doesn't want to let him get away. Round turn 2, and the Alfa has a look down the inside of the Mercedes. Side by side they race to turn 3. The Merc has the inside line for now. Grant locking up slightly, keeps the power down and moves ahead of Cornelissen as they exit the corner. Side by side the Alfa and Capri run down to turn 4. Grant leads the way, and Niemand is at the back of this pack. Through turn 4, and Cornelissen takes the inside line and moves back ahead of Grant. Into turn 5, and Grant fights back. Side by side they run round the corner, neither driver giving an inch. Heading down the straight to turn 6, and Van Aal pulls up alongside the pair, and it is a three-way battle to the next corner. FC Niemand, who is just behind the trio, has a great view of this battle as they power their way down the straight. Cornelissen edging a slight advantage as they set themselves up for the corner. Grant locking up under braking, but it's Cornelissen up front for now. Coming through turn 11, and Bert van Aal is pushing hard, and he has a look down the inside of Stuart Grant as the cars navigate their way round the bend. Side by side, the Merc and the Capri exit onto the long back straight. The yellow Capri edges ahead of the Merc and sets off in pursuit of the red Alfa. It looks like Cornelissen has some problems as he slows down. Clutch issues left him with just third gear to complete the race. Into turn 1 and the action continues. Van Al on the outside, Grant on the inside. The two machines power their way through. Niemand hanging on behind them. Powering through turn 2 and Van Al keeps the pressure on Grant. Down the inside the Capri goes. The Merc runs wide and Van Al moves ahead. Coming down the inside straight between turn 5 and 6, and it's the number 44 Mercedes of Daryl Kramer who moves ahead of Stuart Grant, who looks like he might be having some problems of his own. His car was running hot. Going through turn 6 and Michiel Uberholzer is right on Grant's bumper. Rob Van Al, meanwhile, is closing in on Werner Hartzenberg and Steven Neofitu. The Escort pulls alongside the Porsche 356 and the Mini runs wide off into the dirt. Hartzenberg stays ahead of Van Al for now, and Neofitu rejoins the track just behind Van Al. Diving into turn 1, and Kramer and Van Veek run side by side. Kramer with the inside line moves ahead of Van Veek. Van Al keeps the power down and closes in on the Mercedes of Van Veek, who negotiates his way past Hartzenberg. Van Al holds the inside line and keeps his nerve, the Capri managing to creep ahead of the Mercedes. Coming round the final corner, Rob Van Al will find the checkered flag waiting for him. Steven Neofitu in the Mini managing to stay ahead of Daryl Kramer in his Mercedes as they run to the line. Great racing throughout the field in the final Marcars race of the season. Unfortunately, the first 3 cars over the line all broke out, as did Bert Van Al, and the eventual winner was Michiel Uberholzer, with Nick van Veek taking second and FC Niemann third. In the championship battle, the hot-running car of Stuart Grant finished ahead of Ray Cornelissen, and this secured his 2015 title.
It was awesome fun. Stuart and I haven't really competed much this season in amongst each other. Ray and I have had a good couple of battles this season already. And this time Stuart joined in with us and we had an awesome battle for 4 laps. Lead swapping between us, pushing each other, blocking each other. It was awesome, awesome, awesome fun. Probably one of the best races of the year, I would say.
It was brilliant. It was a really good dice. I mean, normally my older car was a bit quicker, so I haven't had to play with these guys, but it was good, clean fun. Sometimes got a bit close, but there was no contact. It was really lacquer. And of course, you know, I had to try and beat Ray in the championship, so it was on track, but also in the point system.
It was very close. We both limped home in last and second to last place, but in the championship, Stuart still beat us. I think Bert was third. So yeah, it was a very good race, and the track it was awesome until both our cars decided no more.
Join us after the break for more great action from the championship decider in the SKF Sports and GTs.